Right. Next is from Blood Sugar Baby, and the subject is FTR versus HBK. In the latest Snowflake Wrestler news, Dax Harwood was complaining about HBK. I know it's not a short. I know that it's not a short 40-second clip, but Disco, what the problem with having more content for the show? Konnan and Disco, what is your take on his comments? I think everyone would agree that the angle was trash, total garbage. It died in front of the live audience for all those years later. Be talking about like he's a battered wife. What do you think?
Do you want to hear this clip?
How long is the clip?
5 minutes.
You can play first 2 minutes of it.
BK.
Personally,
if you want to talk about it, cool. If you don't, totally fine as well.
Joe, you should always make the screen bigger.
Why not? You know what I mean? So obviously, as a kid, you either had to be a Brett or a Shawn. And I've said this many a times. Brett has this. He is over in a unique way. He's not Hulk Hogan over, and he's not Steve Austin over. You know what I mean? He's not the biggest star in wrestling history. But
if I fast forward this, it'll kind of get to the crux of it. You want me to push it up a little bit?
What now?
If I fast forward this, it's going to get to the crux of it. You want me to just push it forward a little?
Yeah, go fast forward to the. Oh, you've heard the clip.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know where the crux
broke
is.
his jaw. Kenta gave him to go to sleep, broke his jaw. Come into wrestling, and there's nothing left behind. Then I didn't do what I wanted to, what I set out to do. But that happened, and I talked to Shawn, and that was the first time we talked since the PC days. And I told him, I was like, man, this happened, tore my bicep. I went through a really dark period. I thought I was going to quit. I said, but thankfully, just like I've told you, I have the greatest wife in the world, and she has supported me, and she's brought me out of this funk, and she brought me out of a dark place, and I'm here now, and I'm super happy. He said, I was the same way. I was in this very dark spot. I met my wife. She's beautiful. And she pulled me out of this dark spot too. I was like, oh, that's so awesome. He said, look, you and your partner are way too talented to be doing what you're doing tonight. And you're way too talented to stay at this point. Just keep your nose to the ground and keep grinding, and you're going to get over it. Like, oh man, Shawn, thank you so much. And so we had this bonding moment, right? And then we got in front of his friends, X-Pac and Hunter and Billy and Road Dogg and Scott. And as soon as we got in front of his friends, he started making fun of me and making fun of my situation and what happened with my bicep. And I was like, man, I just poured my heart out to you. And because we're going over what, they're going to beat of us. You decide to take all that stuff and make fun of me about it. And I never, ever forgot it. And as soon as we were done with the business at Raw, one person said thank you to us, and it was Sean Waltman. Everyone else was so cold to us and treated us like we were just like the on the bottom of their shoes, except for Sean Waltman. And I'll never forget that for Sean. And I hope that there's a day that comes that we can have a conversation, sit down, and I can ask him why he did that. And we can reconcile if he wants to. But yeah, if I love you, I love you. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah. No, that's a really interesting story. I had no idea where.
That's enough, Joe. Well, it sounds like he's upset. They were just kind of like ribbing on the square with him. And I don't know why he's so upset. Cody, you got your mute on. Well, why is he so upset? You think?
Well, he just said it. He poured his heart out to this guy, and then he made fun of him and in front of his friends.
But those guys are like the type of people that crack on people all the time in front of people.
Doesn't matter,
bro.
That's not an excuse. If they did it to you, you wouldn't like it. He doesn't know them, and so if you're talking to some as a man, and you're telling him, and he's telling you, hey, yeah, man, I feel you. I went through the same, keep your head up. And then when he's in front of your friends, he's burying you. I think that's kind of up.
Well, there's a lot of guys in the business that would like that. So it's like, yeah. That would not have gotten me as upset as he got here. Apparently, this is all I'm going to say.
Well, he's probably a big Shawn Michaels fan and looked up to him. Like Shawn Michaels to me has given Rey Mysterio bad advice. Where I've actually told Rey, really, dude, I would never do that.
Interesting, really.
Yeah.
You have a story there?
Yeah, he told Rey he shouldn't do jobs.
Oh, he told Rey not to tell him, no, I'm not doing jobs?
He said, I don't do jobs. You shouldn't do jobs,
Next is from Matthew Hansen. The subject is Disco Inferno book. Hello, gentlemen. D, have you ever thought to write a wrestling self-help book or biography? Perhaps you could make a fake one and then some young wrestler could use it as their inspiration, but they always lose. In the spirit of Raider great Jack Tatum's book, yours could be called They Call Me Disco. Thank you. Matthew in Des Moines, Yeah, and I'm just going to answer this question. He asked one question. Have I ever thought of writing a book? No. Next email.